Lawrence. I forgot to unmute. What's up, everyone? I told Loris before we went live, like $10 says that I'm going to forget to unmute my microphone. I was right. Anyway, guys, welcome in. I believe, is this thing working? We are live. Yes. Hi. Long time no see. How are y'all been? Tell me. I'm genuinely curious because we have not been live on this channel since, I think, July. It's crazy. So, yeah. So basically what's happened, and I hope I didn't just lose Lawrence. So, basically, you know, life happens. I don't want to get too far into the personal side of things. It just life happens. Basically, in July, Ariel aged out to be able to get in free. And it just kind of snowballed from there. So, hello. Let's say hi to people in the chat. We got Shiv. We got Leo. We got Anne. Hello, Miss Anne. We got Mike. We got James. And, of course, we got Matt. Hello. So, guys, I'm genuinely happy to see all of you. I think my guest is frozen. I don't know what to do. Okay, so he's having camera issues, so let's delay. So guys, let's talk for a minute. Ask me some questions. I mean, we're going to do a dedicated Q&A a little bit later in the stream, but we're trying to delay a little bit to let Lawrence get his bug worked out. Mike says the whole year of 2025 has been crazy, bro. It really has. It's Matt said he let his pass expire. Here's the thing. I don't know when we're going to be in Park stream again. I will be completely honest with you because my pass is completely expired because one of the things that's been going on, and like I said, I don't want to get too personal, but my finances have not been too hot lately, and I wasn't able to renew my pass in time, so it completely expired. So I genuinely don't know when we're going to be live in the parks again. Is Ariel excited for Christmas? I mean, toys. What can I say? Toys. So, of course she is. Tony's in the house. Is Ariel feeling better? And Ariel is amazing. I believe she is downstairs watching right now. The year has gone by fast. Oh, yeah. Matt says, I'm not blue. Dabba dee, dabba die. Wow. Okay. So, let's see what else we got going on here. What's the topic today? So, shortly, I have a guest with me today. It is Lawrence, DizPod fame, Park Broz fame, the wonderful guy, Corey's right-hand man when it comes to running the channel. So, I can't wait to spend some time with him. But, yeah, that's what's the topic today. I'm just being a pain in the butt. Matt, can we talk for a minute? I love you, bro. But when are you not attempting to be a troublemaker? That's all I'm going to say. So, I'm stalling for time right now. Hello, Sherry Klein. How are you? Tony says, my pass expires next month. I'm actually going to be at Disney World this Friday to finish out the year. Text me, Tony. Matt says it's my nature. It really is. Roxy says she needs her days in the park back. Yes, I'm well aware, babe. All right, we're just keeping lines of communication open. How about that World Series? Leo. Buddy. I guess now's as good a time as any to tell you this. I was cheering the Blue Jays. I mean, I didn't have a dog in the fight. I didn't really care either way, but I was cheering the Blue Jays. I tend to cheer the underdog. But, you know, Dodgers won. Congratulations to the Dodgers. So that's all I can say. Shiv says no comment. All right. Lawrence is having technical difficulties. What we got here? We have a 10-pound super chat and early Christmas gift from you for you all. Love, Laura Jam. Thank you so much for that super chat, Laura. How about college football? Do we really want to like rip the Band-Aid of yesterday and me talking about the Gators getting blown out by Tennessee? I'm sure Jonathan, if he's watching, would love to talk about that. I'll go Hoosiers. I did see Illinois and Wisconsin was playing each other yesterday. I know this is so off topic. I'm just trying to delay for time because Lawrence is having issues and just trying to give him a chance to get back in. Leo says, woo, back to back. So, let's see. Tony says, unfortunately, that Christmas party thing is messed up my end of the night. I guess I have to finish an Epcot. I guess I'll have to finish Epcot. How awful. Dude. If you forgot whose chat you're in. Me and Epcot are like this. I scared off Lawrence. I didn't scare off Lawrence. They were the primetime game. The Gators in Tennessee were primetime on ABC. So. Literally, you look great, Aaron. Hope that you're feeling better. I'm good days, bad days, as it is with IBS. Leo says it's now the Dodgers dynasty. No more Yankees. Cubs in 26. I don't know. I'd love to see, if y'all don't know this, I'm a Rays fan. And so the Rays are getting back into the Trop this year. And I'd love to rechristen the Trop with a ring. Matt says, can someone kidnap me to Disney World? I don't know. Talk to the missus. Richard says, happy pre-Thanksgiving. Yes, it is it is Thanksgiving week, isn't it? Happy Thanksgiving, y'all. Tell me, while we're shooting the crap and waiting for Lawrence to get back in here, what's plans this week? Y'all going to family? Y'all hosting family? Quiet one at home? Maybe you're going to Disney? I don't know. Tell me. Ann says, I plan to be in Epcot all day December 12th. I will write that down and make sure I'm there with you. And because you know me and Epcot. Because Epcot. What are you thankful for? What am I thankful for? So I'm thankful that even though we've been gone for as long as we have 21 people watching us right now. Me just bullspit this right now while we wait for Lawrence to iron out his issue that he's unfortunately having. All right. Let me do some background wonders real quick. So, bear with me, y'all. All right. I think we're good. So, you good, buddy? All right. So, Lawrence is back in. Shall we? We're 2 minutes over time, but that's fine. Let's bring it in. So, guys, welcome in my guest tonight. That is Lawrence. What's up, Lawrence? Hold on. Yeah, you're unmuted. You're good.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
So how you been, Lawrence? I haven't seen you in a while, buddy.
I know it's been April, I think.
The last time, oh my gosh, Now you're gonna make me go look at my phone at the picture of Ariel and Finley. And you know
I,
what?
it's,
Roxy's here. Roxy, you can look it up.
yeah, she'll look it up. No, I've been good. It's been a crazy year for me, but kind of glad it's getting to the end. You have
Oh,
the holidays coming up and the new year, new start. So 2026 is looking up. Looking up. Been very busy
yeah.
the second half of the year, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mentioned while I was, wasting time for you to figure out your issues that you were having. I mentioned that one of the reasons we haven't been live is just our finances haven't been the greatest, and I'm not happy about it. But here's hoping that gets better in 2026 as well, because no one wants to be worrying about that sort of thing. Stress over finances is not fun.
Exactly. Especially when, it's kind of a catch-22 because Disney is your happy place.
Exactly.
And you can't go to your happy place because of finances, but you also need your happy place because of your finances. So, yeah,
It's insane because, you know, I I don't want to say I irresponsibly prioritize keeping my annual pass, because I don't. It's not the most important thing in my finances. Things like keeping your phone on car insurance, and that's going to take precedent, of course.
yeah,
But I would be lying if I said I don't semi-prioritize it, because it is my place to go and de-stress. So
right, right.
all right,
No,
so
it's definitely a factor for sure.
yep. All right, Lawrence, are you ready to head into our topics tonight?
I am so ready.
All right, so guys, so basically the structure tonight, we're going to talk about 3 separate topics tonight, and then we'll host a Q&A at the end of the topics where you can ask us anything about tonight or ask us about Disney or whatever. But our first topic on the docket tonight is actually going to be an interview with Lawrence himself. Lawrence, are you ready for this?
Oh boy.
Because here's the thing. I was like super organized for this because I really wanted this to go off without a hitch. So I literally sent Lawrence a PDF with the timesheet of time codes of everything and what we're going to be talking about, keynotes, and in that mentioned that he was going to get interviewed. And Lawrence, did you read that PDF?
I did about 2 minutes ago. While I was waiting for my other system to restart. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't read it until then. All right, Lawrence, you ready? Here we go. So I'm going to read it verbatim. It says, Lawrence, let's go all the way back. How did you first become part of the live streaming and theme park creator community, and what pulled you into this world?
Oh man. So how I got into it was Corey, who I had become friends with, says, "Hey, I want to do a audio podcast." And I was like, "Okay, cool, good for you." He said, "And I want you to host it with me." And I'm like, "Nah, that's not my thing. I'm not out there like the rest of you guys. No." So he did 16 episodes of the audio podcast. Found out that YouTube was pushing for video podcasts. He reached out to me again about it. And I was like, I don't know. And then he said, well, it's not just going to be the two of us, Aaron and excuse me, Dana are going to be on it. I was like, okay, well, I only have to do a quarter of the work then. Okay, let's try it. So we ended up trying it. That worked out well. And here we are 116 episodes later. And in that mix, I was going to a Halloween party and said, you know what? If I'm going to the Halloween party, I could stream it for you. And that was my first time that I did a live stream in the park.
Oh my god! See, I the DizPod has been an interesting thing for me to watch grow, because, as you mentioned, me and Dana were a part of it at first for like the first 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
And after that, Corey texted me. He's just like, "Hey, no offense, but we want to kind of restructure, and we just want it to be me and Lawrence." He said it a lot nicer and friendlier than that, but I'm just paraphrasing. And it went. I'm just like, oh, that's fine. I mean, I didn't really have a professional setup yet anyway. I was literally headphones in, speaking on the mic, connected to the headphones. I didn't have the mic I have now, so I understood. he was trying to go for professionalism, and I couldn't give him that at the moment. So
Hmm.
it's perfectly fine, and it's turned out amazing. I think y'all have made that into something really, really special. And I
Thank you.
don't tune in as much as I'd like, but when I do, it's entertaining.
Appreciate
Good.
it.
So question 2: was there a moment when you thought, "I'm really part of this community now"? What was it? What did that turning point look like for you?
So it was March of last year. I was in Disney Springs. We did an adults only trip, two couples. We went the first night we went to Disney Springs before we went to the parks. I'm standing in World of Disney, and I hear somebody call Lawrence, Lawrence, and I look back, and I was by myself looking at button-down shirts,
Of course.
and the rest of my crew was doing something else, probably looking at lounge flies, who knows. And I hear my name being called, and I thought it was them. And I turn around, and it was PDC from the community. And I just thought that was so weird for me to be recognized without being, in the park or having a gimbal in my hand. So yeah, that was the first time I was like, "Whoa, this is different."
You- See, to feed off that, basically, I'd been streaming at this point. My moment that I had that, I'd been streaming probably about 5 or 6 months at this point, like regularly, and I was hanging out with my two of my mods. It was one of like the first or second time we'd hang out. It was Kim and Jonathan, the Park
Hmm.
Worlds,
Hmm.
and we were in line for uh literally we were loaded into a row for Star Tours, and I'm just talking to them. All of a sudden, I hear, "Oh, hi, Aaron," and it's Michael Riley. I'm just like, "Hi, this is awkward. First time I've been recognized." Because I'd been recognized a couple of times for that. Like, "Oh, you're Aaron. You hang out with Resort TV One," because I was hanging out with Resort TV One a lot at the time. But this is the first time I've
Hmm.
been recognized for me, and it was weird, and I didn't know how to react.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of jarring, and it happened to me again when I wasn't. The second time it happened was on that same trip. I was in the Emporium, and Roderick, who's now a mod for Living in Diz,
Yeah.
recognized me. And I was like, "This is so weird. This is way beyond where I fit in. How is this happening?"
Oh yeah. All right. All right, you kind of mentioned it, but you told the story before, but we want to hear it again. What was it like doing your very first guest stream for Living Diz? Nerves, surprises, anything unexpected from that night?
Trying to make everything go right and everything going wrong. That's what it was like.
Sounds like my first
So,
stream.
yeah, so I started. I was like, okay, we're gonna go live. I think I might have went live on time, maybe even a few minutes early. I'm standing on Main Street, and I get a close up of the Mickey jack o' lantern up on the light pole. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a nice artsy start to the thing. And I think we got about 30 minutes in, and my gimbal said, "Nah, I'm
I,
done."
I'm checking out.
And so I filmed part of the first parade holding it in my hand. Fireworks were totally just in my hand. And the second parade was pretty much just uh, hand holding. And I was like, I think I'm going to have to cut the stream early. Just couldn't do it.
People don't realize how heavy or how tired your arm gets if you have to handhold the camera like that during a stream. That's why we don't do it. One of the
Yes.
many reasons we don't do it.
Yes. Yeah.
Uh, if since I had explain your stream, I'll explain mine. This wasn't my first stream, but it was my probably my fifth or sixth stream. I attempted to stream from Animal Kingdom, and at the time I was on Sprint,
Okay.
and that went about as well as you can imagine. I was jumping, lagging all over the place because I was also still using the YouTube app for streaming at the time,
Okay.
and let's just say my normal stream at that time was about an hour, hour and a half. That one lasted about 25 minutes because I got tired of lagging.
People don't realize how frustrated. People will put it in chat. They have the little lagging emoji that they'll put in, or they'll say stuff, and it's as frustrating as it is for all of you. It is way more frustrating for us because we just want to deliver the best quality for all of you, and when it isn't going right, and there's nothing that we can do about it, it's terrible.
Oh yeah. Ask Roxy how I get when I'm having a stream where it's either super low view count or it's lagging all over the place and nothing I'm doing is fixing it. You can ask her how I get, because she could tell that I'm secretly I am getting super ticked off,
Yeah,
and I am doing my best to at least remain professional
yeah.
because I still want to deliver a professional stream. But behind that camera, if you can see my face, sometimes very ticked off. Roxy will confirm.
The last live stream that I did was on the Dream trying to do the sail away party, and everything went wrong. I was using Streamlabs. Streamlabs just has been just a wonderful product lately. Um, and then finally, I got Prism to work as a backup, but even that didn't last because of the signal and all that. It was just so frustrating trying to bring somebody or trying to bring the audience something different, right? We don't normally see a sail away party, especially live, and just couldn't do it.
Oh yeah. All right, number 4. From that guest appearance, you eventually stepped deeper into the Living in Diz family. What has that journey been like, and how did your role grow behind the scenes?
I remember being at Hollywood Studios with Corey and Tammy, and we were getting ready to announce that we were going to do the 4-part challenge. And something came up in chat, and of course I didn't see it because I was just a member at that point.
Oh yeah.
And Tammy's like, well, make him a mod so that he could, see what's happening. So I became a mod. And then later on, we were doing the podcast, and Corey was saying that, there's so much going on behind the scenes that he has to do with editing and copyrights and all that kind of stuff, and keeping the member list. It's like, I wish I may have to cut down on my streams. And I was like, was there anything I can do to help? And so then I became an editor behind the scenes and started doing that stuff for him. And then we went to me producing the podcast, which then led me to produce the live stream. And now we've taken it to a whole other level.
Oh yeah. I noticed last night, because I'll admit, the entire time we've been on this hiatus on the channel, it's been hard for me to watch streams knowing that I can't go and join. In fact, last night when I was watching Living in Diz, I wanted to jump in and go so bad. But my point being, I was noticing on the tech side, in that time that I hadn't been watching, y'all had gone to 4K 60 frames per second. And I'm just like, whoa, they're broadcasting at 60 frames per second now. Holy crap.
Yeah. There's, we just tweak a little bit, just to see what works, make sure we don't break anything, and see if the audience likes what we're trying to deliver.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there is another channel in our community that's broadcasting 4K 60. I know there's other channels in 4K, but 4K 60, that seems like y'all might be the only ones.
Yeah, folks are doing 4K, folks are doing 60, but no one's really doing 4K 60. So, yeah, it's definitely different. And it's I think what's made the difference is that because I'm producing behind the scenes, Corey can just go out and enjoy. He didn't have to worry about the tech and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's made him enjoy the parks more, which is also then translating to the screen.
Oh yeah. I remember about the time you took over started taking over behind the scenes, because I would text him and sometimes I get a response, sometimes I wouldn't, because he'd be just so busy doing the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, exactly right.
9 times out of 10, when I would just call him randomly, I'd catch him. Oh, you caught me. I'm editing a video, or I'm working on the next stream.
Yeah.
So you definitely freed him up.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's my way of contributing.
All right. So let's talk the DizPod. For anyone who hasn't heard it yet, what is the show? What makes it different from the typical theme park podcast?
So I think what makes us different is that we really are just two bros talking Disney. We come up with a topic and we have a loose agenda. I do the producing with the program we use. You can only have one person producing. Back then, when we first started, either of us could produce, but what we're using now, only one can produce. So I produce it, which also means that I'm putting in all of the pre-work. So like
Mhm.
the festivals, that's the man. Getting the show ready for the festivals is a lot. I think I had 64 slides for
Oh my gosh.
Festival of the Holidays. Food and wine was about 120. Just so much preparation goes into that. But then when we start the show, it's very loose. It's just a conversation between him and I, or him and our guest, or us and our guest. And so I think that that's what makes it, really different. Is we're just trying to have fun.
And it really does come across because I have guested on the DizPod a couple times since I quit being a regular since
Mm-hmm.
I stepped aside, and I've noticed that it's just a fun atmosphere being on, and y'all have had some amazing guests too. I didn't have this question down, but how do you go about getting these special guests like that? Because what do you just text them on Instagram, like spam them like until they respond?
So that is some of it, right? Just drop into the inbox and be like, "Hey, I've got a show. I'd love for you to join." Um, but two of the biggest ones just fell into my lap, like Eula Toka, who is the sister, or she's in the family of the inspiration for Princess and the Frog. My brother works with her daughter,
Mhm.
and so they were just talking and chatting it up, and we, were able to make that happen. Um, Zach Stevens from Trans Siberian Orchestra. Crazy story, but it ended up that I ended up becoming friends with his wife, and so she was like, "Yeah, he would love to come and do the show because he wanted to come and talk about the Disney marathon he was running."
Mhm.
Comes and does the show, and before he does the show, he gives me his number. Like I have Zach Stevens from Trans Siberian Orchestra's number. Like I texted him the other day before the tour started. I'm like, "Hey, break a leg out there. It's going to be a
Oh,
great season."
wow.
So yeah.
And I still think to this day my favorite guest you've had on though was Cliff Licks. Cliff Cliff's insight was just fascinating for me as a person that is insanely interested in the AVL type stuff.
Yes. Yeah. He total. So we had him on the day after. We've had him on a couple times. We had him on the day after Luminous. The three of us got to see Luminous together, and then I flew home, and we had the show the next day. And he totally opened my eyes to Luminous, because the first time I watched it, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to see it a couple times to really get it. And then when he explained the story, I was like, oh. And here's the key for me is, not only, I mean, you've seen, anybody that watches my post shows or seen his videos knows the amount of work that this man does. Just incredible art work. Because it's a masterpiece. It is a masterpiece of art. Um, but not only does he do all of that on the tech side, but he also knows the story. He knows the history of the parks. He knows these little secrets about the parks, and he's a great guest and a great guy.
He's an amazing guy, and I don't think I've met him in person. I might have when he was with y'all one time, but anyway, point being, he's an amazing guy, and I love his content. Whenever I want
Yeah.
to go back and watch Illuminations, I go to his video. Really, there's
Oh yeah.
his video is probably the best quality video, and then there's another guy, unrelated, Martin something, and he's got the great best behind the scenes video of the show. And between the two, I can relive Illuminations all I want.
Yeah,
Honest.
when I watch his version of Illuminations, I have to turn my fans on because it gets too hot from all the fire that you see on screen. I'm telling
Oh,
you.
oh yeah. All right. Let's see. We kind of touched on this already. You took on more responsibility with the DizPod over time. How did you end up stepping in as producer, and what changes and improvements were you aiming to bring when you took over?
So we were using a program called StreamYard, and while it's great and it's very easy to use, the quality just wasn't there. So I started looking for other programs that we could use, and I actually came across Ecamm, and Ecamm is a Mac program. And at the time, Corey was not a Mac user. I was. And so I said, well, let's test it. And when we saw the quality and what we could do with it, that's how we ended up doing that. And funny enough, the first show where I was the producer and he was basically coming in as the guest, um, my power went out.
Oh boy. What can go wrong will go wrong. It's
I think it might have been 10 minutes into the show and my power goes out. And so I hear Catherine in the other room say, we just got a power failure. I'm like, I'm still alive. I've got lights and everything on. I didn't have internet. So I had to restart I was able to restart the show without losing anybody. So, but yes, that's right. What can go wrong will go wrong. I now have battery backups, just so you know.
Huh. Yeah. You got some UPSs on that thing?
Yeah.
So I'll give a little behind the scenes this. I knew you used Ecamm, so I tried to get that going for tonight's stream, and then I realized, oh wait, a lot of the good features that I need are locked behind a subscription. And then I'm like, I don't have the money for that. So I had to figure out a free way to do this. And so we're on OBS Studio, and OBS is working amazing for this. If y'all like, by the way, y'all liking the quality of this, give me a thumbs up in the chat. But, it probably a lot easier with Ecamm because it handles a lot of the back end work that I had to work around.
Yes, I would. Yeah, I would agree. And full transparency, we use OBS for our live stream production.
Yeah.
So,
and like I said, the streams are looking amazing too. All right. We're going to move on. We're a little over our time on this segment, but we're going to get through the questions. You become known for bringing some really creative innovations into the mix, from the AI-generated musical bits in the DizPod to new production flourishes. Where did those ideas come from, and how did they shape the personality of the DizPod and the Living in Diz streams?
Yeah, I would say just looking at, not just what people are doing on YouTube, but all social media platforms, TikTok and Instagram, and trying to bring that viewer into the world of Disney and Disney podcasts and Disney live streams in the parks. And so I think that adding a little bit of what they're used to seeing without overwhelming the YouTube viewer, I think is what's really worked well for us on the live stream side and the podcast side.
And like, y'all have, I was watching last night, like I said, and a lot of this is, stuff that all DSN users, which we'll touch on DSN in a minute, but a lot of these are things that were innovative for DSN creators as a whole, and some of it you were kind of already doing before, like the location-based mapping and things like that. It's really good stuff over there, and good work, Lawrence, by the way.
Thank you.
All right, so on top of the pack, I'm reading my own questions. 8 says, on top of the podcast, you've also become a driving force behind the in-park Living in Diz streams. What is it like producing those live streams from home, and how does that process work behind the scenes?
So,
reveal as much as you want.
It's I'm 600 miles away from the parks. And this is a way for me to bring the parks to people that are 600 miles or more away from Disney World. And so I was able to, that's really how I look at it, as that I've got to help do this. And again, as I said earlier, me running the show behind the scenes helps Corey be free to just enjoy the parks and show the parks and worry about what he's shooting rather than how he's shooting it, worrying about switching from Wi-Fi to data and all that kind of stuff. So as I mentioned, we use OBS, and we went to SRT streaming for those tech nerds out there. And what that does is that bonds data and Wi-Fi together. So Corey doesn't have to worry about, when I go into this part of Pirates, I've got to flip from data to Wi-Fi. So that's gone. So it allows him to free up, just his mind to just go and have fun. So that's
And
really been the biggest part.
which we're trying to get SRT streaming going here on Magical Horizons too, because this is one of the things we talk about behind the scenes, and it's what we want to get going here. So we're on OBS tonight. This is ultimately what I want to use to control our streams in the park as well, but I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm working on it. And
plenty of talk in the Discord. That's one of the good things, and we'll talk about that later. But that's one of the good things about the Discord is so much tech talk.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to touch on this real quick. You also do the pre-show before the in-park streams. You get on camera, you talk to the people, get people hyped up. You're the hype man. and then post-show, you also play those pre-recorded videos of different Disney attractions, and those are amazing as well. And one of my favorite parts about you producing the in-park streams is that if he has connection issues, you can put up a be right back screen, and if it really gets bad, then you can cut in and everything. Although my favorite story from you producing is I was with Corey in person, and you send a message on your microphone to the chat to say something to me. I forgot what it was, and I had no idea until I just started getting spammed with it. Thanks, Lawrence.
It allows me to have, I was a mod first, and so I could put in the chat, XYZ, but then you would see it. So at least I know with the microphone, I just open the mic and just start talking, and the chat will start spamming. But it's fun.
I've come to call it the voice of God. Just out of nowhere, Lawrence's voice appears. All right, so let's shine a spotlight on something huge you co-founded. How did the idea for the Disney Streamer Network start, and what is the original vision behind it?
So the DSN started, honestly, probably 2 years ago. I started having this thought because I was trying to find different. I have studied YouTube since I started the podcast. Excuse me. And so what I found is that there's nobody out there that's a YouTube mentor for those of us that do mobile streaming, right? So there's plenty of people out there that will talk to you about how to be charismatic on camera, and you just got to punch fear in the face and go live. But nobody talks about using SRT streaming and Moblin and Prism, and nobody does that. So that was part one. And then the second part is we as streamers, especially at Disney World, it has become very, I don't want to say cutthroat, but it's very much, I'm over here, you're over here. I might see you walking down Main Street. Maybe I'll give you a nod and that's going to be it. It shouldn't be that way, because there's look, the largest live streamer that we have in the DSN is Resort TV1, and he's got less than 212,000 subscribers.
Is he really that?
How many people do you think are out there that love Disney World? There are millions, billions that have no clue that YouTube live streaming exists. Part of the DSN is for me to go out there and find those folks and bring them to all of our streamers that are in the network. And so that's the three-part idea behind the DSN.
Yeah, and I had a point, but it escaped me. But yeah, DSN is an amazing thing, and I was glad to be one of the charter channels in it, and I'm happy y'all asked me, because
absolutely,
even though I'm not always active in the chat on the Discord, I'm always looking though. All right, so final question for people watching tonight: what is the Disney Streamers Network today? What does it do for live streamers? How big has it grown? And what excites you the most of where it's heading next?
So, you've got 40 channels right now that are part of the network, all the way from Resort TV1 at 212,000 subscribers down to folks that are just starting out with 700 subscribers. And the idea is that if we work together, we can continue to watch each other grow and grow together as a network. And have more of a unified front um, against some of the negativity that's out there. And so I think that my hope for the DSN is for it to become a place that people can go one-stop shop for your Disney live streams, uh, but also one-stop shop for your Disney news. There's a lot of negative news out there. There's a lot of terrible news out there. And
We'll touch on that
so
shortly.
I think that the DSN can be that one place that you can go to know that you're going to get trusted news that's reliable, that is not clickbait, and that is uh, vetted. Because there's so much news out there that it's really just rumor, and they're putting it out there as news. Yeah. So that's kind of where I want the DSN to go.
All right. I think we're going to touch on DSN just a little bit later. I did want to mention that you're right. There is no information for what we do in the parks really online. And, you know, because IRL streaming, IRL being in real life for those not hip to the lingo, IRL streaming is still very, very niche overall. And most of the time when you go looking for guides on how to do what we do, most of those guides are for people doing gaming streaming at home on like Twitch and stuff like that. And so there's not a lot of guides for things like we do. So it's a lot of trial and error for us in the end.
That's right.
All right. So good job, Lawrence. I love that segment. We did go about 15 minutes over, but I don't really care. That was fun. All right. So we're going to move on to our next segment. We're going to talk about our streamers bad for the parks. So what's going to happen here is we are going to play a video here, and we're going to stop and comment on it some, but this is a video I do not have time to play the entire video. The entire video that we're going to be responding to here is nearly 30 minutes in length. I've cut it down to a 4-minute piece. Leo, I sent you the link to this video. Leo's going to post the video link. Go check it out afterwards. He does make some good points that I wasn't able to include, and I want to be full transparent that this is very chopped up to make it, you know, efficient for us to respond to. Go watch the full thing for full context, but I tried to keep the cuts in context. All right, Lawrence, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right. Gotta get my thing going here. All right, and here we go.
People are not happy about this, and they shouldn't be. How do people do this and not feel shame? I can't even take a selfie in public. It's too embarrassing. People just don't care anymore. They're like, screw it. I'm here for me. I'm here to make money. I don't know. We can't take selfie sticks, but this is okay. Disney should find a way to slow internet speeds so streamers can't do this. Yeah, maybe there's just no internet.
Well, here's the problem with that is Disney's entire experience relies on you being on the app. So if everything is integrated into the app, they can't slow down the internet. I mean, I guess they could slow it down. But a lot of these people, though, I wouldn't be surprised they have their own Starlink. I've seen some with like backpacks that are battery packs, basically, that they've got a whole bunch of equipment in there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a Starlink setup where they have their own internet also. So even if they did slow down the internet, I don't think that would do anything.
Starlink in my backpack. No.
I don't know who they think is streaming in the parks. I want to know. I don't know of anybody in the DSN. And like I said, there's 40 channels represented. Who's walking around with Starlink in a backpack? It's not happening.
I mean, I know there's some people that have like hotspots from like Verizon or AT&T and stuff like that, but that's about it. Starlink?
Right. Starlink. No.
And slowing down the internet, that's not... Most of us try not to use the Disney Wi-Fi anyway. So unless you're going to illegally jam the cellular signal in the area...
Correct. That is the only way, right? Disney Wi-Fi, it's Disney Wi-Fi, they can control that. There are ways that they could slow it down.
Oh, yeah.
However, what are they going to do? Get with all the major carriers and go, for your customers that are in our bubble, I need you to slow down your network to crawl speed. That's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
That would be illegal. It's not going to happen.
Oh yeah.
So, no, and folks would, if the ones that really want to, they would find out and they would start getting Starlink. So no, that's not gonna stop everyone.
Okay, let's continue here.
Do is play copyright music behind him. He will stop. I don't even know if that would stop him, to be honest.
It wouldn't stop them because they usually get super chats or whatever the equivalent of that is on like TikTok.
Okay, so play copyright music. No, not gonna stop. Not gonna stop a streamer. I mean, yeah, we'll get annoyed, but it's not gonna stop us because in the end, we're streaming at Disney. Everything around us is copyrighted. We're gonna get copyright hit no matter what.
I had 28 copyrights to remove from the Epcot, the 4-hour Epcot stream that we did on Wednesday. I'm still removing copyrights. So yeah, copyrights are not going to stop a streamer.
It is a tedious thing responding to those things afterwards because usually when I get done streaming a stream, I will get in the car and before I'm even out of the parking lot, I get an email. All right, you got this many copyright. I'm like, yep, the usual suspects here. Okay, good. Worry about that tomorrow.
Yep.
All right, next
Other things.
Keep in mind throughout this whole video, people are paying thousands to be there. For many people, this is like once in a lifetime. They will never go to Disney again. They spend all their money to be able to bring their family there, to be able to get there. Many people have traveled many thousands of miles to get to this place. It took a lot for people to get there. And then you show up and then there's these people ruining it, taking you out of the experience, ruining the magic. It's disappointing.
Well, and that's a valid point, especially as expensive as Disney has gotten or just theme parks in general have gotten. You're spending even more money to go here. And there's more and more people of them doing this that are impeding that experience.
So I'll say this. We as streamers, at least in our little niche of a community, we realize that, we're pretty much like any other guest. And we also pay a lot of money to be in that park. And so we realize what it is, especially for those people that don't get to come a lot. And so a streamer that's doing it right is being respectful to those guests around them. Because we're one of thousands of guests in that park that day. And yeah, you just want to... And you don't know how many of them are on that once-in-a-lifetime trip, how many of them are maybe Make-A-Wish kids around you that you don't see.
Yep.
And you don't want to be a jerk.
I'll say 2 points. Number one, I don't care how much someone paid to get into that park, whether they went all out or whether they, just went with bare bones tickets, waited for the special or whatever. Everybody deserves to have that magic. So nobody, whether you're a streamer, a vlogger, a guest, a cast member, nobody has the right to ruin someone's magic in that park or anywhere for that sake. But certainly we're talking about Disney. So when you're in that bubble, no one should be ruining your magic. Okay. So I do have an issue with streamers that think that they are entitled, or vloggers that think that they're entitled. I think that what streamers do does bring, there is a lot of value to that. As you said, there are people that are watching that will never go to Disney. There are people that are watching that are getting ready for the trip. There are people that are watching because they have the Disney blues because they just came back from their trip. Whatever the case is, those people deserve to be able to watch and be connected with the community, which is really what's happening with us. Yeah. And so I think that's the real point. Nobody deserves to have the magic ruined, no matter what they paid for it.
Absolutely. In the end, I know Corey as well, because I've hung out with him when he's doing his streams. We do our best to minimalize ourselves. Like Corey will literally hold his phone against his chest to keep the light from the screen from bugging guests around him. I don't go that far. I'll just turn the brightness down. But in the end, we don't want to interrupt you because, not only is that respectful to you as the guest that's in the park, there's also the part that it helps our stream be more natural too.
Correct. It's, part of the problem is that right now, there's so many eyes on streamers that everybody that wants to say something negative has a place to go, and then it festers. And they're talking about that they've taken over the parks. Honestly, I remember one time I'm standing on Main Street, and Catherine taps me and goes, there's Josh. I was like, oh, okay. Like, just because you're a streamer doesn't mean you're walking around with the 100, 500, 1,000 people that are watching you, surrounding you as you're walking down the street. You're typically just one person with your gimbal, or one family with the gimbal. It's no different than people that are walking 18 to 20 deep with their matching t-shirts on.
One thing I've noticed in this video, when you watch the whole thing, is that they go after the setup of the gimbal a lot in this video from various streamers. And yeah, there's some that I look at, some people's setups, I'm just like, oh, that looks like a little bit of overkill. But at the same time, you're trying to produce a professional stream. It's still not that much. It's not that crazy. And most of the time, people like me, I literally have the gimbal and the phone and maybe a battery pack attached to it. That's my setup. Yep. And how is that any different than what maybe a tourist brings in? Because they can bring in a gimbal too, and task their phone. They're not streaming, but they have the same exact setup I do, just to record memories.
That's right. I see so many families walking around with gimbals because, hey, listen, a gimbal, you can get a cheap gimbal now for like $39. I'm sure Black Friday, there's probably going to be some gimbals on sale for like $29. Are they going to work as good as what we use? Maybe not. But like you said, folks are using it to capture the fireworks. That they're there for the first time. They're there to capture the fireworks. They're to capture the kids' memories. Listen, let's go back. You might be too young. Let's go back to carrying the big VHS, not the seat.
I remember them.
The big VHS camera on your shoulder.
Oh yeah,
going through the park. Like, how is what we're doing with a gimbal worse than that?
I mean, now this one is before my time, but how is that any different than the old film cameras?
You're right.
People will always want to capture their family memories, and she mentioned streamers are entitled, but I'm not saying there aren't entitled streamers, but there's also entitled once in a lifetime guests too. Yes. Entitlement is not tied to a single type of guest.
No.
And not every once in a lifetime guest is entitled. Not every streamer is entitled. In fact, most of both of these categories are not entitled.
That's right.
All right, let's go.
You I'm filming. Maybe you'll be quiet now.
I am okay with not being quiet at a theme park.
And that's the thing too. A lot of these people use it as an excuse of like, well, everybody's filming. Everybody's here is being loud. Yeah, maybe on the ride, screaming on the ride. You don't go through the park screaming at the top of your lungs, being loud, trying to draw attention to yourself. Like, no, people aren't there to see you, believe it or not.
And this goes back to the respect thing. No, you can ask Roxy. I don't like it when guests go through the park, scream at the top of their lungs or chanting on the rides. I'm looking at you, Brazilian tourists. But, again, this is not exclusive to streamers. There are guests, individual guests, whether streamers or not, that are just loud.
Yeah.
And, at the same time, are we conflating, actual loud, screaming across the way at something with just a projected voice so the phone hears you? There's a big difference between those two.
Very big difference. And a lot of streamers are using microphones. We don't.
Neither do we.
But, a lot of them are using microphones, so they should, just by that nature, happen to be quieter. And so I think as those become more prevalent, you'll probably see that go away a lot. But I get the idea. When she says being loud, I don't think she's really just talking about vocal. I think she's talking about presence. And what you talked about, lowering your brightness, being quiet on a ride. Listen, there are a lot of us that will put in the chat. The mods do a great job of it. Aaron will not be responding to chat on the ride. Enjoy the ride. The mods are here to answer any questions you have.
We literally have a Nightbot message for that.
Yep.
Because I want to respect not only you as the viewer who are enjoying the ride, but also the people around me. Plus, I want to enjoy the ride too.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
you know, she in this segment of the video, when you watch the whole video, this portion of the video is focusing on a specific Disneylander live streamer, and I'm not going to defend this guy because I was watching part of the video and part of his stuff, and he's definitely, and I'm not going to name names, one of the bad eggs in my opinion, but he does have a small point with, I don't have problem making noise in a theme park. It's a theme park. There is noise all around you, and to a certain degree, there's nothing wrong with making noise. And she made it sound like any noise is, you know, unacceptable.
And why is the streamer that's making noise, why is it okay for someone to go and talk to that person, but you just passed an entire family of people that are being loud and you didn't say anything to them?
Exactly. It's in this particular person, this creator, this woman has had an insane double standard pretty much her entire point in my view. And Leo just put our pre-recorded message in the chat.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. So
I will actually say I have talked to cast members that have had issues with some of these and like how they make them their content. And a lot of, you know, not what I shouldn't say a lot. Some of them treat the cast members and team members of Universal like very badly, to the point where they see them coming and they're like, "Oh, geez, here we go." Because it's like this sense of entitlement, I think, that comes with it. Like I run this park. This park is here for me, sort of thing. It's just not it.
all right. So I'm not going to rehash the entitlement part. We already talked about that, but he is right about one thing. And some streamers do get that reputation among team members and cast members. I have firsthand knowledge of this, that when you see them coming, you go, "Oh no." I'm not even kidding.
One of the best days that I ever had in Disney, we were standing getting ready to go up into the elevator for Astro Orbiter, my favorite ride. And I always have keychains with me. Actually, I have them up there, and we like to give them out to people, to cast members that are making the magic. And so this cast member, she was from Long Island. We were talking to her because we were from Long Island, and I had Finley, you know, pick out a keychain and give it to her. And I gave her, she gives her the keychain, and then the cast member goes, "How many are in your party?" And I said 4, and I thought she was just asking because we're about to go up in the elevator.
Yeah.
She walks over to a podium and gives us a certificate for 4 Mickey bars.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's what, $28 at that point worth of merchandise, just because I gave her a $2 keychain. But it was more than just giving her the keychain. It was how we made her feel. That's more important to me than being entitled. You know, giving cast member compliments. When we see a cast member on stream doing something nice, we give out a bunch of cast member compliments. I'll have a banner that I put at the bottom with all their info, so that anybody that wants to do a cast member compliment can do it. I think that's what the magic is, not being entitled.
All right. We got two clips left to respond to before we can move on.
Not a great look. This is responding to a comment, and someone says, "As much as I love people live streaming the rides at Disneyland, I really think they should ban live streaming. There's just too much conflict with it." And you'd think, oh, there's conflict. There's plenty of conflict with it.
Actually, I feel the same. The live streaming, the drama, all of it has gotten so out of hand. And it's so ridiculous. Like, you guys are in a theme park. You're hanging out with Mickey Mouse, and you're threatening to like fight people. You're making racial slurs. You're doing all these things, bullying people. You know, the drama between influencers is out of hand.
Now, I don't know this firsthand.
I do. This is part of what you were talking about earlier, Lawrence, you know, bringing the community together. There are channels that genuinely do not like each other. And I'm not here to throw shade or name names, so I'm not going to be specific here because that's not the point. The point is, there are channels out there who genuinely don't like each other and they feud, and then there are genuinely channels out there who do cause trouble, who do bully the cast members, and it casts a light on the entire community, and I don't like it.
Yeah, that stuff's got to stop. I mean, that's the whole idea behind the DSN is no drama. No drama.
Exactly. All right, let's get the last clip in.
In my opinion, we should be like the Tokyo parks and ban Disney live streaming altogether. If we are not going to do that, I think that we should at least ban it on rides. And I think Disney should just hire a couple people that do a fantastic job with live streaming. And there are a few people that I enjoy that I think are wonderful live streamers. And there's basically no issues with them. And there's no issues with them. You know why? Because they're the same person offline that they are online. They don't create these fake online personas, which I'm telling you, as we've seen, will always catch up to you.
So, I'll say this for her idea, Disney hiring some live streamers. The thing about working for the Disney company, and I maybe have it to preface this, I don't speak for the company or the brand. I genuinely don't. But, when you work for a company, and this is true about any company, when you work for that company, they're going to be pretty strict about what you say, because they're not going to want you to disparage the brand you work for. So I don't know how that would work.
What I think she's trying to get at is kind of like the media, being Disney media. Here's the problem with that. She points out that there are streamers that she likes and that those should be the ones hired. But how do we know that those are the ones that are the real people? And just because you're the same person you are on screen that you are off, you could be the same bad person on screen that you are off, or vice versa.
Exactly.
So I don't see that happening where Disney hires, just certain people to live stream.
She mentioned that people put on fake personas, and again, not naming names because again, not the point. There are streamers that do put on the persona for the camera. It's true. That's true of any influencer in any genre. Yep. But there's also, you got your personas. I'd like to think myself of one of these that are the same person on stream that we are off stream. Mm-hmm. And I try.
Now, Disney, if you're listening, and you do decide to go that way, come and talk to me. I've got 40 channels that will do a great job for you.
Absolutely. All right. So, like I said, we didn't play the entire video. That was like 4 minutes of the video. Leo posted the link earlier. I'll ask him to post it again, Leo, please. And go watch the whole video so you can get full context. We did our best to keep it, in context, and we weren't responding to anyone unfairly. All right, guys, let's move on to our third and final topic. We're going to talk about these clickbait Disney websites. Oh, my goodness gracious. This was Lawrence's idea. And he gave me a website to go, and I'm just like, I can find more than this because there's a lot of them out there. I did end up pulling 2 from one website. So we got 3 examples here. So let's get started. Our first one comes from Disney Fanatic. Disney abandons original Pop Century theming after 22 years. Reveals new look. Now,
man, what happened? So they tore down Pop Century. What did they make it into? Wilderness Lodge? They made it into a Days Inn? What happened?
It sounds like they completely rethemed it, didn't they? The answer is, drum roll please, they refurbished the lobby.
Oh, I thought they tore the whole thing down and started over.
The artifacts on the wall are indeed gone, which I admit is a sad loss. I like to go looking at those artifacts, and now it's a mural of the Disney Fab Five, but it's still Pop Century. If you walk out the lobby, you're still going to see the 60 section, the 70 section, and all that, and the big props. Yep. It's still the same resort.
Still the same.
All right. I don't know. You got something to add to that one, Lawrence? It's insane.
I just remember the first time we stayed at Pop Century, I stayed in the 70s building. I'm a 70s kid. And we had the big 8-track there. It's fun. I don't like losing the artifacts there in the lobby, but we have to put things in perspective. They didn't abandon the theming of the entire resort. They changed the lobby.
And
That's it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a significant change. I mean, you look at those two photos, the before and after, but it's not exactly re-theming the resort.
Right.
And, you know, you can ask the mods, these two sites are banned from the Magical Horizons Discord. They are literally ordered to delete the post if they see it. Because I won't stand it. All right,
Yeah.
Our next one comes from Inside the Magic. News: Disney barricades Animal Kingdom theme park entrance. No guest allowed. So this sounds like that guests had a hard time getting in. What were they going in through a backstage entrance now?
They had to go eat at Rainforest Cafe and then go in that entrance, maybe.
Yeah. All right, let's get the real thing. This is from WWNT. Portion of Animal Kingdom concrete walkway being refurbished, now barricaded. So it's a pathway repaving. You know, normal maintenance that they do.
Normal maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
I remember in Italy in Epcot, there was, I don't know, they were doing some tile work and it was like a 4x4 section. This same site probably would have ran with that story and said, you know, Epcot closed forever.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got Epcot next. Wait for it. Back to Disney Fanatic. Iconic Epcot attraction to be rethemed. Work commencing already.
Oh, I know what this one is. They do this a lot.
So, yeah, they do this a lot. You know, it sounds like, oh my gosh, what ride are they tearing out? What are they replacing it with? This is sad. Oh no. It's just Glimmering Greenhouses, the holiday overlay for Living with the Land.
Total retheme of the ride. Iconic ride rethemed. You'll probably see this same site report the same. They'll probably use the same picture for the land when Soarin' gets updated.
Oh my goodness gracious! Oh, Corey's here. Hi, Corey. But yeah.
Hey.
Anyway, it's just crazy to me that they do this,
and they get away with it. You know, I started. They actually came up on my feed when I started the DSN, and that's why they became a segment on my Monorail Report weekly, where we talk about behind the click and talk about clickbait news like this. It just drives me crazy. There are so many stories out there that are actual news that you could be reporting on. Why not just do that?
Exactly.
I don't understand.
And it got to the point where I literally have Disney Fanatic, Inside the Magic. I have them all, you know, muted and hidden off of my Facebook feed because it was just driving me nuts.
Yeah. The other thing that's interesting about them, each one of them has about a million followers per page, but yet they get like 5 reactions, maybe 2 comments, and one of them is them posting the link to the actual story.
They really have ruined their brand since they were bought out, and especially Inside the Magic. Inside the Magic used to be one of the good ones, and
yes,
it's gone downhill.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at where they've gone. Sad.
Yeah. All right. This is your turn. We're turning over to you, the viewers, now. We're moving on to our Q&A. Ask us some questions. Well, we'll wait for the questions to roll in the chat because there is about a 12-second delay here. I'll just add those clickbait sites. You know, I've long said that I would literally buy one up if I could. Because
I'm with it.
Like Inside the Magic, I would straight up buy it if I could because, you know, I love this is my tech brain talking. This is the graphic designer inside me. I love the design of the website, the name. It's an amazing website branding wise.
Mm-hmm.
But content wise, it's trash.
And it had such a good history, and they let it all fall by the wayside. Like, I couldn't imagine building up that brand to then have it turn into what it is. You know, it's kind of like Sears and Kmart. Like, are you kidding? You had iconic retail brands, and now you have 2 stores in the entire country. You have Inside the Magic that has millions and millions of followers, and you've let it turn into this. I just don't get it.
Yep. All right, guys. Do we have any questions for Lawrence before we wrap up? Because we're coming towards the end of the stream. It's been a fun stream. I've had a really good time. What do you think, Lawrence?
I've enjoyed it. I appreciate you having me on, and welcome back. I like this.
Yeah.
What's your plan? I might have missed it while I was dealing with.
No, I hadn't addressed it yet because I'm still figuring it out myself. Because I told Roxy last night, with all the work that I've put into setting this stream up this week, because you can ask her, I was working hard on this, getting the graphics and everything set up the way that would make me happy. I can't exactly let it go to waste and let it be a one-off stream.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'll sit and think on it, probably put out a video shortly and announce my future intentions. I'm still debating, but ideally I would let this continue being a thing while we're still on the in-park hiatus, because I don't know how long the in-park hiatus is going to last.
I think it's a good substitute for sure. So I'm hoping it works out for you, and you put a lot of work into the tech behind it. So I love it.
Yeah, go ahead and ask him about the PDF. So Matt has a question for us. What is your favorite Disney collection hotel?
Wow. So I'm assuming by collection he means value, moderate, or deluxe.
I have no idea. I was drawing a blank as well. Answer the best
All
way
right,
you see fit.
Let's assume that's part. I'll do two questions. So I kind of like moderates. Port Orleans. We stayed at Port Orleans, Riverside last, and that was fantastic. A lot of people complain because it's huge, but there's so much to do. So don't think just because it's a moderate that there isn't a ton of stuff to do. There's probably more than at a deluxe, honestly. So yeah, I would say moderates for me.
All right, sounds good. Lawrence says, "When are you, Dole Whip Dave? When are you going back to the parks, Lawrence?"
December 13th, I will be in the parks. I'll be there Disney Springs that morning for the Pete McDevitt meetup, and then I'll be in the parks that Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
All right. Your bro Corey says, "Park Bros, I hear Jacob from LID plays an important role, so approving vacation time for you. And for how true is it? And is he easygoing when it comes to asking for times off?"
I signed an NDA, so I can't discuss that. But I will tell you that on my next vacation, I may actually be working. I might be producing while I'm in the parks.
Ooh.
So stay tuned for that.
All right. Roxy says, "Rumor has it Lawrence is going to move down to Florida to live near the Magic."
Oh, I buy inside the Magic. I need a headquarters in Orlando. All right. We'll talk.
Laura says, "Lawrence, have you ever forgot your streaming camera before you went live?"
She might have been referring to Corey. Was that directed towards Corey, Laura? Corey has done that. He forgot his streaming camera one time. And he gets down there and he's freaking out. And I'm like, all right, well, meet me up here at Spaceship Earth. We'll figure it out. Knowing that I had just got a Samsung S25 Ultra.
Yeah.
So I let him stream with that day.
I have forgotten the stream phone once before for a stream. I literally got there. We were streaming at Epcot that day. And I got there. I'm just like, babe, I think I left the stream phone at home. She's like, "You didn't." I'm just like, "I did." Oops.
Listen, when I leave for work, you do the pocket check. Phone, keys, wallet. Okay, I'm good. Phone, keys, wallet. So when I'm going to the parks, you do the same thing. Gimbal, battery charger, all that.
So we ended up streaming from my iPhone that day.
You had a backup.
Yeah. Wasn't as good a quality and didn't have all my gadgets and stuff, but hey.
Bare bones, but that's okay.
Hey. I literally announced that, hey, we are very bare bones today.
Yeah.
Matt says he meant hotel in general, not just category. So he was probably asking what was your favorite Disney hotel specifically.
Yeah, that's probably even tougher. Pop Century is great. If I look at the value resorts, I'm gonna go with Port Orleans, Riverside. I think it's just a very laid back feel.
I can't narrow it down to one because I have a favorite
It's
one in
tough.
each category.
Yeah.
As for when it comes to value, my favorite literally is Pop Century because that was the first resort I ever stayed in. It's where we were staying when I proposed to Roxy. And so it has a lot of sentimental value to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, Moderate's a little tougher for me because I have a couple that I really like. I really like Coronado. I really like Caribbean Beach. But, Deluxe is easy. Poly, all day, every day.
Only deluxe I stayed in was Old Key West, and we did the Treehouse Villas at Saratoga and Animal Kingdom Lodge, which we did not like at all. We had a terrible view.
I got a quick story for you. So when we got married, my brother-in-law gifted me and Roxy, I think it was a 1 or 2 night stay over the weekend with his DVC points at Saratoga. And on the second morning, we had a dining reservation at Old Key West. And we're like, oh, we're close enough. We can just walk there. We got lost on the golf course.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
We made it, but we got lost on the golf course and got weird looks from the cast members going by.
Yeah.
All right. So Corey has one for me. Why doesn't Magical Horizons go out and cover all the wonderful resort decorations and springs for the duration of the park hiatus? That sounds familiar. I think Roxy suggested that. We will. Hopefully very
Love
soon.
it. Love it. That's good. That's a good thing. I saw our channel do that yesterday and today, actually. Yeah. And people are loving it.
Yeah. Just because I can't go in the parks doesn't mean I'm completely cut off from in-park or on property streaming,
That's right. That's right.
All right. Any other questions? Let's see. Question for both. We'll take 2 more questions. So this is Steffi. Hey, Steffi. Question for both. What is the most memorable moment you've witnessed while streaming?
Man. Okay. I know mine.
Okay.
I was getting ready to end. It was a Sunday. We were driving back home. And so I was going to end and so that we could drive home. And somebody comes into the chat and says, will you be filming the marching band? My son is in it and I'm at home in Pennsylvania and couldn't be there. And I don't know of any way to see him. And I read that. I turned to Catherine and she was like, because we knew we had to do it. So we went and Catherine filmed it and then we emailed it to her back in Frontierland. And then I went and caught them at the hub all the way up to Main Street. That type of stuff I think makes such a difference. People see their kids or people want to see their kids. They're performing in the parade, as a cast member there. They reach out to Corey or I and they're like, hey, can you cover blah, blah, blah? Absolutely.
All right. So mine, I have a tough time picking out a singular streaming moment. But here, I'll do this one. So one day we were going to stream Fantasmic. I was still working at Universal at the time. So theme park worker, I know how to project my voice. And so we were waiting and the cast members were trying to get the wave started. The signature wave that happens at every performance of Fantasmic.
Yeah.
And it was having a tough time get going. So it was me, Roxy, Ariel, and Amanda with us. And I literally said I should go down and try and help them. They're not really being that loud. Amanda said, I dare you. I'm just like, I'm going to regret this. I handed the stream over and went down there. And if you go, you see me get down there and go 1, 2, 3 and try and get the wave going. And it doesn't work. But still, that moment stands out for me.
A for effort.
Yeah. All right. I think we got one more. Someone asked, where's Roxy? Roxy's downstairs. There's your answer. Quick, simple, easy. Roxy's downstairs.
And Catherine is upstairs.
There you go. I'm upstairs. All right. So I believe that about does it. Time to start our outro here. All right. This has been a really good stream. Thank you for coming along, Lawrence. Thank you for making yourself available on really such short notice, because I didn't ask you this until I think it was last Sunday I asked you this.
All good. I appreciate it. I was glad to be here, and means a lot that you asked me to be on your first show.
Yeah, good stuff. So I did name the show in case I do turn it into a series. This is the Horizon Studio Sessions. Me and ChatGPT come up with that. Tell me what you think. and Tammy and I are sitting together. Says Corey, I'm going to get you on here then.
Mm-hmm.
Have to interrupt his Sunday night football, of which I'm missing the Bucks game right now, by the way. Anyway, let's hop into our credits. These are the same credits. I didn't really get time to really completely redo these graphics for this purpose, but let's just throw them up there. We want to say thank you to our patrons. They are Park World Radio, Jonathan and Kim, Ann, Theo, Timothy S. Thank you all so much for supporting this channel on an ongoing basis the way you do. We also want to say thank you to our mods. They are Jeff, Kim, Jonathan, Cherie, Sam, Jennifer, Amanda, and DizJake. That's an old graphic, but we still want to say thank you to Jake for his service when he was with us, and our team captains Leo and Tony. We are also gonna promote our good friends over at Park World Radio. We proudly endorse them. Park World Radio is your ultimate destination for Disney parks music from both Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World Resort, both classics and new favorites. Whether you're at home or on the go, you can tune in on your computer, smartphone, or tablet, or smart speaker. As a listener-supported station, Park World Radio relies on contributions from fans like you through Patreon and PayPal. Your support helps keep the magic alive, and as a token of appreciation, you'll receive exclusive Park World Radio stickers. Discover all the ways to support the station and find all the ways to listening by visiting theparkworldradio.com. So don't wait, tune in and relive the magic 24/7, bringing the enchanting sounds of the Disney parks right to your ears anytime, anywhere with Park World Radio. We want to encourage you to check out our Discord server, linked in the description down below. This is how you're going to be able to interact with us during this hiatus. This is going to give you updates, and you just check on us. Because we tend to go silent a lot on here, but at least over there you can get us anytime. Just ping us. We're always getting notifications. And let's encourage you to check out Roxy's channel, Life with Roxana, where she posts everyday life vlogs, DIY tutorials, Disney vlogs, and so much more. So check out Life with Roxana over there, linked down below. Lawrence, you can do this one. DSN, go.
Hey, Disney Streamer Network is your one-stop shop for 40 different streamers. You could watch Disney at dsn.disneystreams.com about 20 hours a day, every day. We'll bring you Disneyland, Disney World. We can even bring you Disneyland Paris and great home shows just like this.
Yeah. And, of course, Magical Horizons is, as we said, proud member of the Disney Streamer Network. We're happy to be a part of it. Okay. Where's my setting? There it is. So yeah. Thank you for tuning in tonight. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button on your way out the door. You haven't already. Subscribe as well. We're hoping to do this a little bit more. Keep y'all entertained over here on Magical Horizons while we are down. I did have a couple ideas going forward. And yeah. Any last words, Lawrence?
No, again, just thank you for having me on. Thank you to you and Roxy and Ariel. Always good to hang out with friends a little bit.
Yeah. So I had one more time. Thank you so much, chat. This concludes session 1. We did it, Lawrence. little. We had a little bit of a hiccup at the start with your camera.
Don't worry, I'm gonna have a conversation with this PC over here tonight.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for joining. You have a wonderful rest of your Sunday night. We'll see you real soon, and may all your dreams be magical. Good night, everyone.
Can you remember back to a simpler time? Back to the watercolor days that still run through your mind. Oh, I remember just my old friend and me, running through an open field the way it used to be. The feeling that our hearts could just take wings, we could live out all our dreams. The journey there was never far away, but like a dream come true that's still inside of you. The secret of tomorrow is to live your dreams today. Remember the night, remember the feeling, remember the magic in our lives. You opened up my eyes to a new world revealing. So remember the magic, just remember the magic one more time. Oh, remember, do you remember the way it used to feel when love was only make-believe and fairy tales were real? Oh, I remember you were with me once again, free to live our fantasies. It never has to end. The feeling that our hearts just take wings, we could live a world of dreams. Together we sail against the wind. And now I know where to begin, how to find it all again, from now until forever. Remember the time, remember the feeling, remember the magic in your eyes. You opened up my heart and you gave life new meaning. So remember that feeling, just remember the magic one more time. One more time. Remember the magic.